tonight we had the 7th annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and it was an incredible ceremony. Tremendous number of alumni were back, former athletes, former students. We had a great turnout, a great rivalry game against Shawnee Mission West, and what a great example we have set with our Hall of Fame for our students.
He made Raider history by taking first in state cross country individually and in team competition on the golf course at Wamego, remembering how ecstatic Coach Schmidt was after the victory. Coach had a pretty good victory dance. In the spring, he added individual track state championships in the indoor mile, outdoor mile, and the outdoor 2 mile, setting a state record at 9:09.9, about 9 seconds faster than the old record. That's 4 state titles within the same school year. But he admits he's really thrilled to go into the Raiders Athletic Hall of Fame with a coach who meant so much. Verlyn Schmidt made this day possible. Escorted by current track coach J.J. Wanamaker, please welcome from the Hall of Fame class of 2016, Dave Anderson.
For a school that's 50 years old now, we really needed to do something to recognize all of the great athletes in the past, boys and girls, not just the big sports, but swimming and tennis and golf. And it's been really fun to recognize so many really good athletes because this school has such a rich history. And when people see the Hall of Famers and they hear the stories and then they remember how great they were and the school was, it makes everybody proud.
The one constant, the glue with both sports, was Susan Copeland, the only Raider in school history to captain 2 state title teams in the same year. Susan was the heartthrob for every boy in the building, voted the sweetheart queen, and an absolute beast when it came to competition. She was a league and state champion in the 100 breast, an incredibly challenging stroke, setting school records that lasted more than a quarter century. Every year, Shawnee Mission South selects the most outstanding swimmer and diver, honoring them with the Susan Copeland Award. Tonight, posthumously, we induct Shawnee Mission South Hall of Famer Susan Copeland.
It brought back so many memories of that time frame when she was here. You know, that's 40 years ago. She would have been so gratified to have known about this.
There's a perfect symmetry to Verlyn Schmidt being inducted into the Hall of Fame when Shawnee Mission South is celebrating its golden anniversary. He was the winningest coach ever over the school's first 50 years, and it's unlikely that success will ever be matched. 6 state championships in cross country. Both the boys and girls won the title in 1978. 8 track championships in a 6-year stretch combining indoor and outdoor seasons. More than 40 individual state champions. 8 of his track athletes are Hall of Famers. Tonight, runners off Coach's very first cross country state championship team are here. The first team title of any kind in school history. Greeting Barb Schmidt, sons Paul, John, and Scott, with current track coach J.J. Wanamaker as Verlyn Schmidt reaches the finish line for the Shawnee Mission South Athletic Hall of Fame.
Dad was a very intense coach, but also had a great vision for what he wanted to accomplish on every season. I think that kind of stems back from his experience at being under the tutelage of Bill Easton, coach at University of Kansas, and a lot of great runners there.
And his whole thing was to make you better. Not everybody was going to be a national champion or a state champion. Get better, learn how to work hard, deal with disappointment and victory, and there was a bond with all of the Schmidt boys. We proudly called ourselves that. You know, we were sort of in it together, and there was a great sense of pride to be a part of the track and cross-country program, knowing that Coach Schmidt was really a pioneer. Nobody was able to do what he did at an early point, and later everybody tried to repeat it, and nobody really could.
Being inducted into the Hall of Fame with Verlyn, particularly because he was my coach, is really significant. I mean, he had, and Dave Stewart read a whole list of names that Verlyn influenced, and I totally agree that he had a tremendous energy and passion for his sport.
I've met some good friends that have lasted a lifetime, and that I cannot ever thank Shawnee Mission South enough for.
I graduated 40 years ago. The school's 50 years old. We used to play in the field where the football stadium is now, and there was just a really strong connection at an early point in my life, and the school still means an awful lot.
I'd say to the young folks, you know, continue to study hard, get on to college. A college degree matters a ton. If you want to do graduate school, that's great, but at least get your undergraduate degree. Remember, the first reason you go to college is to study, and everything else is secondary, and you'll do just fine.
Those teachers that come back, those coaches that come back, and the stories that they tell, it's really remarkable. And you cherish all of those moments, and it's a great example of the great thing we have here in Shawnee Mission and Shawnee Mission South High School.